Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to Gulfstream Park and welcome to Gulfstream Today. Track announcer Pete Aiello joined by ace handicapper extraordinaire Ron Nicoletti. And I called him that simply because today is Friday, so he has a reputation to uphold as he's taking over as the expert in the Beat the Expert contest. You can play along with us via the hashtag BeatTheExpert on the Gulfstream Park Facebook and Twitter pages. Beat the Expert. Look at that fine polo shirt Ronnie's sporting. You can win that polo shirt if you pick more winners than him today.
Yeah, and before we get started and go a little further on here, I heard the call after the last race, your announcement that saying that the level of competition has gone down.
Yeah, indeed. I think when you go from a grade one in for a $25,000 tag, you know, that's a significant drop in class.
I mean, this reeks of a breakfast bet here somewhere along the line today to prove that I am still.
Oh, so you would like me to try to beat the expert?
Well, you can try, but I don't know it's good. But it's really a lot of fun. So you saw the screen up there. It's a lot of fun. You can get your selections in up until post time. My selections are already up there. Try and beat the expert. Of course, our buddy Acacia's out of town for a few weeks. So I am now the expert that you have to try.
I'm going to give everybody the spoiler alert on the strategy. You look at Ronnie's selections. They're readily available to you. You pick two races where you think that Ronnie's selection is not the right horse, and then you just hope to beat him 2-0. It's not a hard scenario.
And you get that really nice polo shirt, so it's
Absolutely.
worth. It's a lot of fun too. So we'll see how that plays out. You know, Pete, we got a wagering menu we want to get to and show you what's going on. We got a carryover today in the Rolling Super High Five, right in the first race of $2,000. We have 7 runners, a couple of scratches in there. Anytime we have 7 or more, you got the Rolling Super High Five.
Absolutely, and the Super High Five in the first race looks like a little bit of added money for you. We also start the day with the early pick 5. Ronnie will have an early pick 5 ticket for you. He hit the late pick 5 yesterday.
No, the early pick 5.
Oh, it was the early pick 5. So
yeah.
You're going for 2 in a row there. A little red boarding by Ronnie off camera, so it's always good when he's feeling good. And we have the early pick 5 on race number 1. We have 10 races on the format today, so the Rainbow Six will get underway in race number 5 today. Carryover continues to climb, $144,632, 20-cent play. The Rainbow Six starts in race number 5 this afternoon.
Yeah, we're also going to end the day with that late pick 5, the last 5 races on the card. So a fast main track, firm turf course, beat the expert day.
Absolutely. There's a couple of races I don't think the expert can be beat. It's only because it looks like there's some tough horses to get by here today, including in today's second race. We won't start in the second race. What do you say we start at the first race today?
I like that.
It is on the main track at 6 furlongs. Scratch number 4, Shere Khan. Scratch the 6, Ultimate Choice. With the scratch of Shere Khan, who is a major contender in here, the cream should rise to the top here, Ronnie. 7, Right On Ready, and 9, Duncan Bend appear to be the top.
And let's show you my early pick 5 ticket right now, and you'll see that's the 2 horses I use, 7 and 9. I did go too deep. We were talking about in race number 2. You thought the 3 should be my single. 3 deep, 4 deep. I got a 20-to-1 shot in race 4 we're talking about. And then in race 5, the 1-2. So for a $48 ticket to kick off the afternoon.
$48 play in the early pick 5. 6 furlongs the journey in the first race. Right On Ready gets a rider switch here today to jockey Amisai El Jaramillo. He guts off of 9, Duncan Bend. Elvis Trujillo rides Duncan Bend. To me, they look like the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan Bend claimed in 6 consecutive races by 6 different trainers. Now in the Ramon Moya barn, trying to rebound. Got bumped at the start last time out. Finished 9th in his latest try at this level and distance. He's a really popular son of Dunkirk. He's a 6-time winner at the distance. Elvis Trujillo, you mentioned the jockey change. So there is lots to like, but not a great performance last time out after, experiencing some trouble at the start.
Absolutely. How'd you like to go home to a different house for the last 6 consecutive evenings? That's a tough thing to do. Number 7, Right On Ready, has been in the same house for a couple of starts as he's in the barn of Peter Walder. He was 3rd last time out behind Duncan Bend. Can he make up the ground he needs to turn the tables on this horse? The price should make the difference there. He'll have to decide if he can improve enough to topple the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, trained by Peter Walder, ridden today by Amisai El Jaramillo, so a logical choice. I mean, logical too. But very early on in the wagering, Pete, we were talking about this before we went on, a lot of time before first race. The horse that's taking the money right now is the 1 Substrate. This one is back in South Florida. He returned from a layoff to defeat $5,000 claimers going 6 furlongs, who was up at Tampa. If you look at his past performances, he ran okay when he ran here last time, but this is a guess on my part. I put him on the ticket with the scratcher. Sher Khan, by the way, who's running tomorrow. So if you like that horse, it'll be in tomorrow. But 8-5 in this horse early on in the wagering.
Well, Substrate, I can tell you, as you usually ask me about the Tampa races, the horse who was second that day inherently was a heavy favorite. And speaking candidly, the wheels fell off inside the 16th pole. Substrate didn't look like he was going to get there, and the horse who was second in that race helped him get there as he was slowing down late.
Well, I used those 3 on my ticket, but only 2 on the pick 5 ticket to 7 and 9.
Well, let's go to the second race. The second race of the afternoon is at 5 furlongs over the turf course. It features a horse that will be probably the most heavy favorite we have here this afternoon. He's even money on the morning line, and she is perhaps some drama, making her second start on turf and first time in for a tag. All indications are she'll be awfully tough.
Yeah, I know. She finished 4th as the lukewarm favorite against in maiden special weight competition on the main track. I just want to go back and show you the performance. No, this horse is going on the turf today, but I just thought this horse was the 2 horse that they just never got a chance to run. Lacked room throughout. You just see it steady, and it goes that way all the way around. Now this horse, he's running okay, and I just thought maybe that some drama will run well in here today.
While the eventual winner, Anna's Pride, is in the 2-path, keeping perhaps some drama hemmed in. The outside horse in the pink there is a horse named Fortune Air, who was so impressive. This was her debut run, and she ended up coming back. She blew the start again from the rail last week and won anyway. So for me, this is a hugely productive race, and the top 2 in the finish there, Anna's Pride and the outside horse Fortune Air of that race. Perhaps some drama's 4th in there and takes a drop in class. I just don't see any way around it.
So you think you could single in it?
Yes, I do. I think that everybody will, too.
Yeah. The horse I used in second was the 4 Fist Bump, was turning back to 5 furlongs in the first start. Since going upset at pressured pace, finished second, is against $35,000 maidens, going a mile in his 16th. But here's the thing. It was at Gulfstream Park West back on November 13th. Larry Pilati, Luca Panici. This is the daughter of Leroy Asanamu's 3-year-old debut. Hasn't seen since that 2-year-old race.
Well, and that's the thing you have to consider. When that horse is the second choice and definitely looks to be a deserving second choice, how good must perhaps some drama look? Yeah. Because to me, there's a lot of questions for number 4 in this race.
Yeah, and I just thought that number 4 Fist Bump, a horse that you have to pay some attention to. And I went to the outside with the number 7 horse, and here's dropping to the $20,000 level, going back to the grass today after failing to show much against $50,000 maidens, going 3/4 on the main track. Just one of those horses I think that can grab a share of the exacta or trifecta in that race.
Looks to me like from a pace standpoint, Idealism might have a small look in this race for a slice for trainer Michael Yates. Look at that debut run. So the horse can fire fresh, has been freshened up since February. The debut run is good. Showed a lot of speed and got nailed on the wire by Bellata. Certainly the subsequent races to that aren't very good, but the 5 will be on the engine here. You'll get a cheap thrill anyway.
Oh, okay. We'll see how that race 2 plays out. A lot of people will be singling, according to Pete. And that's a place where you might be able to beat me when you're playing Beat the Expert today if something else should win, because I have that horse on top.
Well, we'll turn now to the third race, 5 furlongs over the main track. These are 2-year-olds in for a claiming price of $50,000. We travel 5 furlongs in here. No scratches, no jockey changes, a field of 8. And as always this time of year, the 2-year-old races are quite intriguing with a lot of depth. Where did you settle here?
I went with the number 3, Dazzling Dixie, who's stretching out to 5/8 of a mile, receiving Lasix after rallying 4 wide to finish a distant second as the favorite. That was a 4.5 furlong career debut. Stanley Gold, Edgard Zayas in the saddle. I thought there's some upside in this horse. Got that race under its belt. I think it should run well today.
Lots to like there. First time Lasix, beaten favorite by a horse who was a very impressive debut runner in Our Incredible Life from the stable of Ralph Zadie. Edgard Zayas takes over for Jaramillo. Nothing wrong there. Definitely the horse to beat here.
Yeah, I went with the number 4, Scrap the Mandate, and second is Buyer Sire, In Summation. We're going to show you a stat on In Summation, the sire here. This one is 15 for 77, 19% with 2-year-old first-time starters. And 19% is a good stat with horses, sires producing debut. That's first out 2-year-old winners. Dave Brady, Eds Lasix, got apprentice Lane Luzzy, named to ride. Lane came back yesterday and won his race.
Yeah, he sure did, and he won it impressively aboard Lakota Warrior. Horse we were talking about off camera that you thought had a look before I said that I thought he had a look is number 5, Peggy's Music Maker from the barn of Hernan Parra. Luis Castillo rides. They are very good connections with the 2-year-olds.
Well, I looked this sire up. It's a debut. It's a first-year sire at McLean's Music, and very limited sampling, but 3 for 9, 33% with his 2-year-old first-time starters thus far. You mentioned the connections, Hernan Parra, ready for this debut. Bullet work all across town at Gulfstream Park West in 48-1. So not a big sampling, but a very good sampling.
Absolutely. The race number 3 on the card starts another pick 3, and it's a very contentious race, as Ronnie and I just were talking about. We'll look now to the 4th race on turf at 5 furlongs, an allowance optional claiming race or a starter allowance for horses which have started for a price tag of $12,000 or less. We have a field in this race that has a lot of different things going on. You can scratch the 3, very few details, so a field of 7. One of the horses that appears to take money here is number 5, Vera's Finally. On the turn back in distance, the outside horse, 8, I Will Be Free, has the best turf sprint form.
Yeah, and I went with the 8, I Will Be Free. He's dropping a notch on the competition scale after following that 12-5 condition claiming score. That was back on May 29th with a second-place finish. At this distance, went $25,000 optional claimers last time out. Boy, this one is sort of like a 5 furlong specialist. 7 races on, going 5/8 with 2 wins, 3 seconds. Reunited with jockey Tyler Gaffalione, who was aboard for that victory that we talked about on May 29th. So it seems he knows how to handle the number 8, I Will Be Free.
And I Will Be Free was a good second behind a very, very solid campaigner in Silver Sachet. Silver Sachet would be odds on the morning line against this field here this afternoon. Nothing wrong with that. The number 2 horse, Starship Amanda, Major Ticket. She has not lost going 5 furlongs on the turf since April of last year. Granted, she's only had 3 races at 5 furlongs on the turf since then, but can't fix it if it's not broken.
Yeah, I mean, she's she's stepping up the competition. As you mentioned, those back-to-back victories at the $10,000 level. It's a 7-year-old daughter of Put It Back. She loves 5 furlongs, 8 starts, 5 wins and 2/3. And as you know, you see my selections up there, 8, 5, and 2, and I'm trying to beat the morning line favorite in here, the 1 or the second choice in here. Well, with the scratch is now going to be the favorite, and that's Lady Master.
Yeah, Lady Master has to improve off of her last 2 races. She does take a drop in class. She draws the rail. Alvarado's going to have to get aggressive. Her best lick is on her near the lead. If a speed duel does materialize on the top end, your second horse, number 5, Vera's Finally, may have a look. To me, though, she's not proven to handle a sprint distance, though she's won 2 of her last 3.
Yeah, and trainer Steve Clasera's doing a really good job. Cornelio Velasquez handling that turn back. You're right, dropping it to the 16 optional claimer after those trio of solid route races, but got to prove that you can do it at this abbreviated 5 furlong distance.
Well, we're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, we'll talk about today's Rainbow 6 and Race 5 right after this.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/GulfstreamPark to enter and use hashtag Beat the Expert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
And we're back now with a preview of today's Rainbow 6 sequence. And race number 5 on the program. 10 races on the card today, so the Rainbow 6 does begin in the 5th race. And race number 5 has 2-year-olds taking to the main track at 5.5 furlongs. These are horses in for a claiming price of $16,000. And there's at least a couple in here, the inside pair, Israel's Dream and Cabinet, that I don't think any of us thought would need to drop to 16 to break maiden.
Yeah, and that's what's happening today. 2 of the horses I did use on my Rainbow 6 ticket. So let's quickly go there. And you see 1-2 in race number 5. Then 3 deep, 2 deep, 3, 3, and 3. $43.20 this afternoon. See how we do in here. And as you mentioned, Pete, the logical 2 horses on the inside. Israel's Dream is dropping to the $16,000 level after responding to both the addition of Lasix and Blinkers with a second-place finish, but was the 3-5 favorite against $25,000 maidens going 5 furlongs. I want to go back and show you this horse's last stretch run. And this is a cautionary tale here. This is not something that I just thought Israel's Dream, I thought, and you called the race, of course, Pete, that she was going to go by. And this horse in the stretch did not beat that horse.
Yeah, I had every opportunity to pass the leader and Proud of My Honey and just didn't do it. I wasn't fascinated by this effort at all either. And the drop in class just mitigates mitigates the good race that she ran, at least on paper. I thought she should have won that race, and so did the betting public. Another horse that we were talking about off air, Cabinet. I can't believe she's in for $16,000, and she was a good second against special weights in her debut. Had no chance of any kind in that second starter. She was checked back to last, then dropped in for 25. The bettors thought she would respond to the drop in class. She ran pretty bad also.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow her story, she was given some time off. She faced better, as you mentioned, those 3 races. Distant second-place finish in her special weight debut. Trouble 6th in that next race. She gets checked. And then 4th against $25,000 maidens on June 2nd. So they drop in his horse to this is the spot where it should win.
Well, I can tell you this, with the 1 and the 2 having the best resumes in here, it does set it up for a horse that has never run before to show that this horse, that they would have some good ability. And what I mean to say is, if there's a time for a first-time starter to reap the spoils of some shaky form, I think this is the race to do it. There's a lot of good first-time starters in this race, including a horse that made the bottom of your ticket that'll be a huge number 6, Loving Valentina.
Yeah, you know what? This is daughter first-year sire Drosselmeyer debuting for Gennady Dorochenko. 5 local workouts show, including a recent 3 furlong bullet in 36 flat. And I think this one is worth the flyer at a price, just to be on the ticket somewhere. This is the type of horses that can suck up and be second and third and really help your exact and trifecta pay nicely. And the workout pattern's not bad.
Well, the thing about it is Dorochenko's good for a couple of 2-year-old winners. At least he has been in the last 2 seasons. He hasn't had one yet, so don't be surprised if this horse upsets the apple cart. This is a prime race for that to happen.
Yeah, as you mentioned, and that's why I showed Israel's Dream. I just thought that was a shaky call last time out. Had every reason to win that race and didn't, and then the drop today.
Well, we'll turn our attention now to race number 6 on the program, and we'll go on turf at 5 furlongs. Maiden Claimers in for a $35,000 price tag. This race, to me, has the same storyline as race number 5. The horses who have raced are really not all that inspiring, so it looks like it's the battle of the first-time starters. Which first-time starter is the best? That's the question that Ronnie has to answer. And, of course, Ronnie likes to defy anything I say as I look over his shoulder. He's going with the horse that has raced, Queen de Valet.
Yeah, Queen de Valet moved to the Reed Nagel Barn V to claim debuts on the turf after rallying to finish third. That was a $25,000 career debut on the main track. But it's a daughter of Barishnikov out of an alphabet soup mare called Lady Echo. Certainly bred to handle the surface switch this afternoon.
All right, riddle me this.
Right.
I know I'm in the host role here, but I
Right.
have to understand something.
What?
So you don't like Israel's Dream, right?
No.
She's in for 16. Israel's Dream beat Queen de Valet, who you're now asking to win for 35.
No. You misunderstood. I just said, I showed you that last race. I had Israel's Dream on top.
Right.
I just a cautionary tale. I'm trying to help people out by showing this horse not being able to win the last race. So I put it on top, think it's the right one at the $16,000 level, but that on the main track, this on the turf, it's a whole different ballgame. One is one is the other. But I did pick Israel's Dream on top of the ticket because of the drop.
All right, do you have any first-time starters you like
Yeah.
here? Yeah, how about the 8, Shack Up from the barn
this
of
is daughter
Marquez?
of first-year sire Shackle for debuting on the turf for trainer Mark Cassie, Lasix, and Tyler Gaffleone named to ride. So a couple of things to life. And as far as I know, this might be the first 2-year-old Shackleford on the grass, unless it happened somewhere in the last couple of days. I looked up the stats, and there was nothing there yet, but that doesn't mean somebody didn't run yesterday or something. So this is sort of a guess on my part, but the barn has woken up big time over the last couple of days,
Yep.
and I don't have to tell you how good Tyler Gaffleone is riding. So here's a horse, first-year sire, good connections. I think it's a logical choice to be on the ticket.
Well, Michelle Nihei had a dead heat winner yesterday in Evelyn's Dream. She'll try to get another winner here this afternoon. Ronnie thinks that's a possibility. Number 6, She's a Big Machine. Panici rides. That's the go-to rider.
Yeah, and this is a daughter of acclamation, debuting for Michelle Nehe, as you mentioned. A couple of Palm Meadows turf workout showing. Gets Lasix, and as you mentioned, gets our man Luca Panici, who has just been riding in great form this summer.
Probably needs one, in my opinion, but hey, I'm the host, not the analyst.
That's why
your job. You're the expert. We're
that's why
you.
It's third on the list here, Pete. You see how it works? I like this one best, this one second, this one third.
I hope there's at least somebody paying attention. If this beat the expert stuff, we're going to be giving away a lot of polos. We'll look now to race number 7 on the program, $12,500, the claiming level. They've not won 2 in this race. We do have a couple of scratches. Scratch the 4, Mr. Ellie. Scratch the 5, Peace Militant. Still plenty of field to choose from as we have 11 to go to the post. This is a tough race. You won't get any argument from anybody here.
This is a really tough one. If you can go deep in your Rainbow 6 or your late pick 5 or anything like that, this is the race to do it in. And I am maybe being personally responsible for getting rid of the whole inventory of the Beat the Expert polo shirts today.
Well, this is a tough race, though. It's not like those other races where we can make fun of you. This race, for any horse that you want to make a case for, someone else can make a case for somebody else in the race. It's just a really contentious race. You like the one, Norman's Hero. He delivered on the 1-2 promise last time out. He takes that big step up from the maiden claimant ranks to the non-winners of 2 category here today, but his buyer figures are awfully good for a horse at this level.
And that last race, he beat a pair of next out winners by 10 lengths. So it was a 10,000 maiden test going 5.5 furlongs. So the horse was flattened by horses in that race. The trainer, Steve DeMoro, Eddie Castro handling the inside post. And I thought myself that this one was absolutely the one to beat. I did have Peace Militant in second today, but scratched out of the race. So I went all the way to the outside with the 13, Maximian. And this one is now in the Allen Hunter Jr. barn. Sophomore debuts locally and drops to this level on the dirt. Showed speed, retreated, but that was against 25 optional claimers going a mile in the 16th up at our sister track Pimlico on the turf course. And once again, Luca Panici in the saddle. So I thought maybe this horse can grab a share. Going to be on the outside. I think the 2 scratches to the inside would help. Not really enamored with those outside posts going 6.5, but I think this horse can run well.
Well, here's the thing about it. This horse was in Hot Springs over the winter, so I do remember some of his races. Take a look at his race 3 back. He's 50-1 and he's 4th. The second place horse that day was Rated R Superstar, who only won the carry back here. And Rated R Superstar only beat Maximian by about 7 lengths.
So not only do I ask you about Tampa stuff, I could ask you about Oakland stuff. So I got a wealth of knowledge sitting next to me today.
Well, can I tap into some of that knowledge, or I want to give some horse some airtime that you don't have on your ticket?
What's that?
That is a mental case, to be sure, but when the horse has got his head screwed on straight, he can run a big race. Talking about the 8, Zach's Image. Zach's Image debuted for trainer Monty Thomas at Tampa, and if you were on the bandwagon, you got 14.5 to 1 that day, and horse won very, very impressively, so much so that they tossed him in against a stakes quality horse in Whiskey Tree in an AF event. The horse just was not interested in performing his best run that day. Had the lead going in his Gulfstream Park debut around 2 turns. And this is where the mental stuff comes into play. Bolted and didn't end up finishing that day. And then last time out went 22 to the quarter before stopping against Looks Good, who was favored in the Thursday feature and allowance yesterday. This horse is in the right spot today.
Yeah, and that race come out, a couple of horses won their next start, so you might be right with that horse. And as you mentioned, this race wide open. Another horse I think can improve this afternoon. I don't know what price this is, 10-1 on the morning line, and that's Cora Crevi Team. Is dropping a notch in the claiming scale after following a really strong $10,000 maiden score. You mentioned buyers. Got a 75 buyer in that race while in the Monty Thomas barn. Then comes up duels for the lead, weekends to finish 6th. That's against 16-2 lifetime claimers in the first start after the claim by Juan Arias. So I'm thinking this horse maybe bounces back this afternoon at a price and can certainly be on the Super High 5 ticket. Just one of the many horses that you can make a case for.
You heard it here first. Race number 7 on Friday, July 22nd will be a key race. Regardless of who wins, I think the horses that come out of this race will be very, very good in their next starts.
So mark that down in Pete's Rules of Key Races. I think it's page 83 in his rules book. He's got a lot of things going on, Pete.
We'll turn now to the 8th race on the card, maiden claimers at the $12,500 level. We have a field of 8 signed on in here. Annie O'Schiller is the morning line favorite in this race. Does she finally face the field that she can get her first win?
Well, she's dropping to the $12,500 level. She returned from that freshening to finish a useful 5th. That was 20 maidens going a mile in the 16th on the turf course here that was listed as firm. Going to get that today. David Fawkes, Tyler Gaffleone handling that class relief, and I think this is the spot this afternoon.
Big scratch of one Spunzig, who figured to be a key rival to the number 8 Annie O'Schiller. Annie O'Schiller has this to win or lose here this afternoon. A couple horses that may be able to factor are the 2 and the 3. I see you completed your ticket with those same 2.
Well, Spunzig had speed. So
Yeah.
it makes it look better for now with Niagara Star, who's falling to this 12-5 level. You get that Niagara falling and stretching out to a mile with blinkers added. After dueling for lead and fading to finish a distant 4th against 16 maidens going 7.5. And I think that the scratch of the number 1 Spunzig is going to help the chances of number 3 Niagara Star. You mentioned the 2 Island Lights. Needs a clean trip after getting carried out on the first turn last time out and basically losing all chance and still managing to finish 5th at the distance. Second time blinkers today, a second time MSC El Jaramillo. I think this horse with a clean trip can be there too.
Should be noted that Annie O'Schiller lost last time to Bold Char, who's out of the same barn. Fox ran 2 in that race. He won it, but Annie O'Schiller was the less fancied of those 2. She is now the headliner in race 8 today. The 9th and feature race is an allowance race at the 6.5 furlong mark. We have a field that has some pretty good horses in it. You can scratch number 2, Blame Dixie. Delta Girl was so impressive in her debut. Now, it was last August. Does she come back ready? If she does, we could be looking at a very special race mare.
Oh, well, let's go watch that performance. And I wanted to ask you about this because you were there live and in person and called this race, and we're going to go back and show you that. And what I liked about it, sitting here and you're going, oh, look, she's in second and all the way around, then she just explodes through the stretch.
Yeah, she sure does. Now, the horse that she beat and the horse she's getting ready to blow by is Artie's Bourbon Girl, who struggled to clear the non-winners of 2 condition. Got claimed a couple of months ago by trainer Peter Walder, and they just have not been able to find anything. So that's the bad news. The good news is how impressive is this? I mean, she's geared down as she's passing Artie's Bourbon Girl. The key question is, and it's a question that only Ralph Nixon knows the answer to, why the layoff?
Yeah, why the layoff? And this horse has been training consistently for that first start in about 11 months. So good connections. It's a daughter, 4-year-old daughter of Majestic Warrior. So I thought that this horse, you know, you had to go back and show what I put on the top of the ticket, but it does come with some questions because of that long layoff. But the workout pattern has me thinking this horse is going to run well. You mentioned a couple of other horses in this race. What about the 3 Curlin's Approval? An impressive first out winner back on June 5th. Drops into the optional claiming ranks after stalking the pace and finishing 5th. That was in the $100,000 Azalea. Marty Wolfson, I think, spots her perfectly this afternoon.
And a horse who beat her last time out. I agree with you, by the way, on Curlin's Approval, but the other horse you used is Smartly Agree. She was second behind the expected winner, Dearest, in the Azalea. If she runs that race back, we're going to have major problems if you don't like her.
Yeah, and then Smartly Agree's turning back to 6.5. She came within that 1.5 lengths of springing that 28-1 upset, as we mentioned in the Azalea, Gustavo Delgado, Cornelio Velasquez. Boy, this is a vastly improved daughter of a Smart Strike. Seems to getting better and better with each start.
Yeah, and even her race 2 back when she lost to Miss Hollywood. Miss Hollywood was expected to win by a bunch of margin like she did, and then Miss Hollywood came back to be favored in a stake and got nailed on the money by Killer Bird. But those are some solid company lines, and the form cycle appears to be going in the right direction.
It's a really nice race.
Sure is, and it's
really
a great race to have as our feature race of the afternoon. It's race number 9 and the first half of the late daily double. Race number 10, we talked about it yesterday, how tough the finales have been, and this race certainly lives up to that billing. Maiden claimers at the $25,000 level. They go 5.5 furlongs, and these are 2-year-olds, so there's a lot of different ways to go in here. Scratch the 3, the Gift from Haven, and the 11, El Potro. A field of 10. Which one did you like here?
Outside, Bank on John, number 12, is stretching out to 5.5 after stalking the pace, finishing 3rd and 2nd, respectively, when facing similar in a pair going 5/8 of a mile. Kathleen O'Connell Good connections right there. Lane Leslie handling that outside post. And that's the problem, is the outside post.
Well, it does get to move in 2 spots with the scratches of those 2 horses. As you touched on, did make a pretty good progression from start 1 to start 2. You always like to see that, and you would expect that Kathleen's horses would continue to get better.
Number 6, Don't Come Knocking, is another stretching out an additional half furlong this afternoon for rallying along the inside to finish third in its 5-furlong debut. The trainer is Mark Cassie. I want to show you a stat on Mark Cassie over the last 5 years, with 2-year-olds making their second career start, all of the maidens on the dirt. 8 for 40, 20%, 63% in the money, but a low ROI of $1.23 because they bet everything that Mark Cassie runs, so you can understand that, but a pretty solid stat on here, and I'm expecting this horse to be right there at the wire.
Thank you for the segue about guys that get bet every time they run 2-year-olds. How about Dane Kabisky? He gets bet when he runs 2-year-olds. They're not bashful about it. And then you look at Eric Drosselmeyer, who debuted at 17 1/2 to 1. I mean, I don't understand that, but that was the reason why, because the horse didn't run any good. Adds the blinkers and tumbles in class. Those 2 things alone should lead to an improved effort.
Yeah, and made that middle move, and in that last race, and flattened out when finishing 6th, as you mentioned, 50,000 career debut. Blinkers this afternoon, is that the answer?
Might be the drop in class with the blinkers. Maybe a little bit more money bet on Air Drosselmeyer here this afternoon. And it's a very competitive race. Even a horse like the 7, One Eye Jet, wouldn't be a surprise. He continues to improve for trainer Henry Colazzo. Rider switch today to the very strong Jesus Rios.
So not only are we going to play Beat the Expert today, Pete's been playing Beat the Co-host throughout the afternoon, so we'll see how it goes. Beat me over the head. I'm not talking about beating selection-wise.
Well, yesterday you told me you'd like that. You said controversy creates cash. I think that was a direct quote.
Me? Yeah. I would never say anything that smart.
Well, first post time here this afternoon is 29 minutes away. Beat the Expert contest going on this afternoon. If you've yet to play, use the hashtag #BeatTheExpert on the Gulfstream Park Twitter and Facebook pages. Good luck to you if you are trying to beat Mr. Nicoletti here. He'll be back in just a few minutes. I'll be back in a moment with the program changes.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a